boys and girls of the appropriate ages, it is now time for the least mediocre of all the mediocre sports talk shows in the Mid-South. It's time for the Eye on Sports with B-Ball Jones. Every weekday morning at 8 o'clock, right here on AM 730. Here we go. All right. Good morning, everybody. It is 8:03, Memphis, Tennessee. The Eye on Sports. Ira Lipsy here. B-Ball Jones, Jay Brenner. I think he's en route to the studio. I'm not sure. Hopefully you are hearing us. You caught the news. We are now on the most powerful AM station in the history of radio worldwide, AM 1600. No more trying to avoid overpasses, tunnels, bridges, power lines, traffic, street lights, any type of electrical interference because you cannot hear AM 730. Now we're on 1600, the power pack punch of AM radio. And you can hear us right there. We are also, I think, streaming on YouTube. Are we on YouTube? Yep. We are on YouTube. You can search WMQM 1600 AM and KQPN 730 AM. That will take you to the YouTube channel. You can see us live in the palatial, brand new studios of 1600 AM 730, etc. On and on to the break of dawn, breaking backs like Donkey Kong. It's on like a pot of neck bones. Mark, on your way in this morning, welcome to True Guru Mark Kaplan. On your way in this morning, were you listening to any of the Talkback Live on AM 1600?
I did not catch it. I was jamming out the fish in my morning started the right way.
Like tuna, salmon, grouper?
I go a little tweezer.
Little tweezer from the band Fish. Okay. You know, I've noticed something about fish. Most people aren't going to know what we're talking about, but if you turn on like there's a on TuneIn Radio, Live Fish Radio. If you turn on that channel and they're in the middle of a song, you don't know what song it is.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah.
You're jamming.
Right. When they're jamming, you don't know what song they're in the middle of. That's not a good sign to me. That means all the songs are essentially the same, except for like when they go into the lyric part. Well, that's whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to badmouth the Fish. I was jamming out to some Talkback Live, listening to that, and they were talking about the Grizzlies. And I'm hoping if the gentlemen that were on the show are still listening, give me a call. 452-3094. I didn't catch who it was. And if Bob or Josh are listening, if one of you guys want to call me and tell me who that was, it seemed like the two guys that were discussing whether or not the Grizzlies should tank, one of the guys seemed unclear on how the top pick protected stuff worked. He seemed to think that if it's a top 8 protected, then you want to be 7. So you can convey, so you don't, I don't know, it didn't seem like everybody was on the same page with that. But anyway, that's not here nor there. That's just a side question, I guess. Mark, did you see James Harden get another 30 points last night? Did you see Russell Westbrook get another triple-double last night?
Did you see history was made in the Oklahoma City Thunder game? History
was made in the Oklahoma City Thunder game. In what way?
First time a pair of teammates got a triple-double and each scored 20 points or more.
It was the first time a pair of teammates had a triple-double in the same game?
Yeah, they both scored more than 20 points. For 20 points or more, Paul George also had a triple-double. He got a ridiculous game last night.
Is that right? Paul George, 47, 12, and 10. Holy shnikes, as Tommy Boy would say. Oh my gosh, you're not kidding, Mark. That's the first time that's ever happened with triple doubles over 20 points.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, it's rare that there's 2 triple doubles in one game.
That's true. True. Well, they didn't get much help from anybody else on their team. Ray Felton, I don't know that guy. That guy's in the league, but he had 15 points. And whoever D. Burton is, D. Burton had 18 points. Who's D. Burton?
Can you make
Good question.
Deontay Burton? You ever heard of him?
No, it must be a G leader.
Deontay Burton out of Iowa State.
When the guru hasn't heard of anybody, that's not a good thing.
He's 6'5", 245 pounds. I don't know if that makes him a forward or a guard or just stocky in general. But DeAndre Burton, no relation to Jack Burton. You know who Jack Burton is, don't you, Jay?
Is my mic on?
You're on now, yeah.
Hey, Jack Burton.
Yeah.
Wasn't he of the Jack Burton trio?
Jack Burton, the Pork Chop Express, Big Trouble in Little China.
Ah, that guy.
Great movie.
Don't know it.
Of course not. Why would you know a classic movie like that?
Ah.
Anyway.
Mm.
Jay, welcome to you. Thanks for coming in. I know you've been busy doing mommy and daddy duty.
Yeah, Mr. Mom this week.
Yep.
Just like old Cody.
Just like
No.
Just like Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. Come on, get your 80s references.
No, there's another one.
Yeah, I know there's a movie where Hulk Hogan's like a nanny or something like that, but we're talking about Mr. Mom. Mr. Mom, it means it's actually his kids.
Right. You don't get to call it babysitting if it's your own kids.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, I was telling all of our lovely listeners out there and viewers that we're not streaming on Facebook Live this morning. We're on YouTube, our own YouTube channel. So if you search KQPN 1600 and WMQM 1600 and KQPN 730 on YouTube, you'll find where we're having the live stream going on. And if you're in the car listening, you can switch from 730 to 1600 for a more powerful stage.
And
I'm not wearing socks. What?
no, and Ira, we're going to have a new website for the show.
Oh yeah, we are.
Hopefully at some point today I've got to configure the name servers or something. I don't know. Like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But the website will be www.theionsports.com. How about that, Ira?
That's pretty impressive.
Theionsports.com.
I'm blasting my way onto the national scene here.
B-Ball Jones is going to be retired as a character.
We got power now, boys.
It took a while to get there.
It was
but
Back to the
that's good.
Future 2.
Oh, is that what
Yeah,
it
it
is?
took a while to find it.
No, that's good. Back to the Future, Ira. Rank them.
Easy. 1, 3, 2.
There you go.
Except, you know what's interesting? I don't know. I wonder what the general consensus on that is. I always felt like when it came to the Indiana Jones movies, and I'm not counting number 4, and I always seem to think it was the same order. People like number 1 the best, then The Last Crusade, number 3 second, and then The Temple of Doom. Over the years, I've found more and more people who thought Temple of Doom was like the best one. Which was like very surprising to me. I didn't think The Temple of Doom was going to get that type of credit, but apparently there's a contingency of people out there who really like the TOD.
I really.
You know what it could be? I mean, I think the Temple of Doom was the first one I ever saw, and that's why I kind of like it more than the others. I thought it was the first one.
No, Raiders is the first one. People I know said they liked it more because it was darker. You know, it was less, whatever. I mean, it was just a darker movie, I guess.
Temple of Doom or Tomb of Doom?
Well, I'll go with Tomb of Doom. But when the guy rips the other guy's heart out of his chest and it's still
good.
beating,
That was good.
and he says Kali Ma Shakti Day, it's so awesome.
So we're on YouTube, is that right?
You're not.
We're not. Oh, I'm not. Ira is.
You
Look at
got
that.
the shot.
Where does he need to be?
Around.
Okay, well, we need to scoot over.
Yeah, scoot over. Get me in there.
Yeah, I can do that at the commercial break.
Boom.
There we go. There's the
Boom. Am I on? What's the website? YouTube.com.
What's the website? www.moonshot website.
16 WMQM 1600 AM.
WMQM.
Yeah.
And we'll take care of it. I got him, Shane. I got him straight.
I got it. I know how to Google stuff. Hey, look at that.
Yeah, you're a goofle is what you are.
Was it a live?
Yeah, we're live.
Live now.
Live now.
Holy Holy cow, look at that. The Ion Sports.
Right now.
Oh, hey, everybody.
We're still in testing.
I haven't gotten screwed back here.
Yeah, we're in beta.
Look at that. Look at the guru.
We're in beta testing. I know the guru's up in the corner. I feel like we're on the Dan Patrick show, but better.
We're just missing the basketball goal. That's all we need.
We can get a basketball goal in here.
You know what? I'd rather be off camera, I think. Just feature the eye.
Yeah.
He is the Ion
We need
Sports,
you.
Mark. Mark, what do you think? The Ion Sports?
No, we need you to. We need your.
We need your looks.
I'll tell you what. I don't know if I like being this close, though. I like a little space.
You like a buffer?
Yeah.
Well, I'll bring like a refrigerator box tomorrow. We'll just put it up there so we can't really see each other,
Yeah.
but we're right there. Anything from the world of sports that tickled your fancy last night?
Let me tell you something. Nothing tickled my fancy last night, Ira.
Yeah, so Mark
I
comes
mean, if
in.
you want to talk about trying to put 1-year-olds to sleep without their mother, we can talk about that for a little while.
I'll bet that was a rough one. You got to spike the formula with a little tussin.
Speaking of tussin,
Honestly, I don't think it would have worked. What do you got? Speaking of Tussin,
Yeah, speaking
what?
of tussin, what?
so according,
Oh, damn it, Kansas won. Sorry, go ahead, Mark.
no, according to Bleacher Report, since we're on the subject of tussin, Jamarcus Russell might be signing with the Memphis Express.
Jacarcus Russell? You're kidding me. That guy's been out of the league for 10 years.
Yeah, probably 7.
He's no longer on that tussin, bro.
You know what? The Memphis Express, I'm officially off the bandwagon.
So Mark came in and says, "Did you hear the big news?" And I was like, "Big news?" He goes, "Yeah, about the AAF." And I was like, or about the Express. And I was thinking to myself, "Oh my God, they're already shutting the team
They
down
folded.
after one game." He goes, "Now they're going to sign Jamarcus Russell."
God. Yeah.
And now here's the thing I don't understand. If Christian Hackenmeister and Zach Metzenbergerheimer were both pretty decent college quarterbacks, and I guess now neither one of them can play in the minor leagues of professional football, and you're going to bring in a guy who, I mean, I don't even know where to start with Jamarcus Russell.
That's a joke. Maybe they're just trying to get fans out there. But that guy, I mean, when was the last time he played organized football?
I think we play some flag football or arena football somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, to Ira's point, how bad do you have to be that in the new football league you can't even hack it? Hackenberg can't even hack it.
Well,
No pun intended.
the real thing is the real thing about it is that type of quarterback play stretches into the NFL. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's only a handful of really good quarterbacks in the NFL. Then there's a little bit of, some mediocre quarterbacks, and then there's trash. So the fact that there's 100 quarterbacks in the NFL and there's only 10 really good ones and 5 decent ones and then 15 crappy ones, and now you're trying to have another professional football league or 2 more professional leagues come next year, where are you going to find a quarterback that can actually play football?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But speaking of quarterbacks that can play football, this Kyler Murray thing is very intriguing to me. Kyler Murray, of course, Oklahoma quarterback and Oakland A's draft pick, has decided he's going to go full in on football. And then, they're talking about, first of all, why this is like a topic that that goes on for more than like a minute's worth of coverage is kind of crazy to me. But, ESPN and their NFL stuff, that's what they have to do, I guess.
Todd McShay.
It's the Moore Report.
Ultra 4.0.
And then we're not to 4.0 yet, but we're getting close. But
Give
anyway,
it 2 weeks.
the thing that I found interesting about the whole story was that Murray comes out and says, "I'm going to go play." And this really, for me, it's more of a baseball story.
4 days before he was scheduled to report to spring training.
Right, and he says he's going to stick with the NFL. And the A's are like, "Man, maybe we should up how much money we're going to give the kid, so he'll be tempted not to go to the NFL draft." So that just tells you what the Oakland A's.
Well, he forfeited $3.16 million to not play baseball.
Right. And the reason to me, also being a baseball guy, what makes it so interesting is.
Actually, let me
Go
correct
ahead.
that. I think it was he forfeited 3.16 in future. What was due to him in March, he has to return 1.29. So a total of almost, $4.5 million.
Yeah, and to me the most interesting part is that the Oakland A's are like one of the best teams when it comes to scouting and developing young players because of their budgetary needs, not to go out and sign the big dollar players. So here's a team that is already up against it financially. That's how much they think of Murray as a baseball player. So I think to me that's why it's that's what makes it so interesting.
Yeah, if it were the Yankees,
yeah, and be like, all right,
the
whatever.
Ion Sports would be uninterested.
Wouldn't be uninterested, but it would not be as compelling to me.
Understood.
Have you ever seen Moneyball?
No.
Really? Have you ever read the book?
No.
I've done both actually. I actually read that.
You read a book and there weren't like.
Well, you are Moneyball.
There was no coloring.
Were you in the book?
I gave a couple editorial remarks.
He's the true guru. What was Larry Boa like at Sirius XM?
I didn't really encounter Larry Boa much. He was, I think, more on the MLB channel.
Yeah.
I loved that MLB channel back in the day.
I never listened
When
to
I got my brand new XM radio back in 2005, it was like this big.
Oh, I had one of the big ones too.
It was great.
The little dial.
There's no dial on mine.
You didn't have a dial?
No.
No, I had the dial that could change the channels,
Might have been a dial.
the presets.
Sort of an up-down.
Dude, I loved Sirius XM. I don't have it now, but I did enjoy it.
I was into it.
I like the comedy channel. It was fun.
Yeah, they're still good. In rentals, occasionally, they finally figured that out. You'd rent a car, you wouldn't pay for it, but it would be on, and then you'd rent a car and it wouldn't. But now if they've got it, just if you pay, it's on. If you don't, it's off.
I used to really enjoy Bubba the Love Sponge. He was on the Howard Stern channel.
Yeah.
And I was reading an article about him the other day about like where he is now.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Where is he now?
well, he was involved in that whole Hulk Hogan sex tape. It was his wife that had sex with Hulk Hogan on tape.
Bubba the Love Sponge?
Yeah, and then there was like, did Bubba release the tape? And
What was her name?
Heather.
Heather the Love Sponge?
Heather Clem.
It's a nice name.
Todd Clem. Bubba the Love Sponge.
Oh, that's a nickname?
Bubba the Love Sponge. It's not his actual name.
It's not a
legal name.
No. Whereas Ira, the Ion Sports Libsy is actually my middle name. The Ion Sports, one word, is my legal middle name.
Danger is my middle name.
Danger's my middle name.
Crickets.
It's a good movie.
Crickets is your new middle name.
Hey, Mark.
I'm
Mark.
breaking balls.
Who does number 2 work for?
Who does number 2?
That's right, buddy. You tell that turd who's boss.
Tom Arnold, great appearance by Tom
Yeah.
Arnold on that one.
Hey, speaking of Tom Arnold, before we go to break, I'm on a text chain, a political text chain, and these people are big Democrats. They're like, the president snorts Adderall, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like, is that real? Is that? They're like, well, it's a strong rumor. So I Google it. Tom Arnold said it.
Tom Arnold also appeared in several episodes of Trailer Park Boys.
Tom Arnold said it, and we all know how reliable Tom Arnold is.
Trailer Park Boys, that was hilarious. Where's
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, with Snoop Dogg and Doug Benson. All right, we'll be right back after this. Have you ever seen Trailer Park Boys?
Come again? No. But I think if we do like here and there, we'll be good. We'll both be on. Right now, I've got like half my body on.
Just keep moving over.
By the way, I'll be here. I'll show you that.
Oh, nice.
Oh, how cute. Oh, because you got an appointment somewhere else?
Because I gotta do something with Jay.
Yeah, it's business.
It's business. So
I mean, I could do it right now if you needed me to.
No. We wait till after the show. It's just business. We're in the business. They can do in business. Oh. Uh-oh.
Y'all are still streaming, so whatever.
Yeah, I just kind of forgot about that as I unleashed that belch.
Yeah. Y'all look great on the
Sweet.
stream.
Thanks.
Make a 2-minute call.
You know what we need? We need like a curtain. We can pull the curtain during the break.
Right.
I'm not even joking.
I know. I don't know how easy it is to stop and start the live stream.
Well, you don't want to stop it, but we need to be able to like mute it.
Well, I wonder if they can, I was gonna say if they can hear us even though we're not on air and they can still hear us.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I wonder if there's a way to mute what's going on the YouTube.
One minute.
Call Advatech. Advatech, we are your 901-262-7925 or email support at advatech.com. ADVATEK. Advatech 262-7925.
Let me call you back.
I'm gonna have to start a full like skincare, moisturizer, de-wrinkling, ice bags under the eyes, full like regimen. Now that I'm gonna be on camera,
You're gonna have to get a chef.
a personal chef. No, I don't
Yeah.
need to do that. I mean, yeah, I do need to drop a few hundred, but that's not the point. I'm talking about my face is
Hey.
is the more
Hey, Ira,
important part.
the latest AP poll is out.
The hair already looks good.
The hair, your hair is looking good. Looking good. Looking good.
The three of us, I think you have the most quality hair.
I think that's not debatable.
Yeah.
Not even going to have a debate on that one.
Yeah, the AP poll, Jays, Tennessee Vols.
I mean, kill me now.
When I say even just in jest that I say you're Tennessee Vols, does that even give you a little irking?
No. I mean, just looking at them, number one in the country, irks me.
Yeah, no.
It's going to really irk me when they win it all.
No.
I will.
I'll give you great odds on that if you want to bet on that.
Oh my God. If that happens.
I might have to move to Canada
Yeah.
or Mexico.
I'll probably convert to Buddhism
Why? What does that have to do
and
with
take
it?
a vow of silence for the rest of my life.
Yeah, but it's not the vow of silence. It's the vow of.
No.
I don't want to look. Let me tell you something. When you're driving around your car in Memphis, Tennessee, and it's 2007, and people still have Tennessee national champion
You always come back to
football license plates, that bothers me. I'm saying if they win the national championship in basketball,
that. And I'm living in an effing hovel.
yeah,
That bothers me.
yeah, that's gonna.
You sound like Danny Aiello.
I know. So it's not the part that I'm gonna have to say anything about it. It's the part that I'm gonna have to see the T-shirts and the stuff and hear people talking about it. I can't think of vow of deafness.
Now, here's why you do Buddhism. You ready? Because you just transcend and you get to the point where you realize that sports doesn't matter. That way, the Tennessee
I'm
winning it all.
already at that point.
You're doing a sports talk show,
But I know what it is.
and you're the eye on Tiger baseball.
No, but it's entertaining. It's not. Sports is not. You know, for me, sports is like movies for us. I like to quote the movies. I like to think back about on the great games. But I know in the scheme of things, that's not what's important in life.
Ira, you know what my favorite thing is about sports?
Popcorn.
The coaching carousel. I love a good coaching carousel.
Oh, what's that summer camp song? And you would know because you went summer camp too. You know when the painted ponies go up and down.
We are the CIT, so
No, not that.
the kids are brats. The food is hideous.
Come on, I'm being serious.
I know. Yes, carousel.
A carousel. Right.
It's
Anyway,
Bette Midler or somebody like that.
could be.
The coaching carousel starts with the coaching hot seat. You want to know who's on the hot seat according to ESPN.com?
In what sport?
College basketball. And there's several names.
Mike Bray.
No, Mike Bray's not. Mike Bray's been at Notre Dame for like
I don't know, 15,
20 years
15,
and he
20 years.
wins. No. I'll check through them. You ready?
I don't get to guess any of them.
Yeah, go on.
Steve Alford.
He already got fired.
I know. I'm pretty sure you knew. I don't know.
There's one in the AAC. Let's start
One of
there.
the AAC, I'm going to say.
I give Ion Sports prize pack to whoever gets it, Mark or Ira. Play the music.
452-3094.
Yeah,
You can call in on that too.
call in on that.
Hot seat already. AAC.
I'll give you a hint.
Don't give me a hint. I'm going to say it's the coach of. Jeez, I don't even
The
know.
coach of cheese.
Johnny Dawkins.
No, they're like winning the league, or they're high. They're not.
Whatever.
Winning,
Who?
they're not winning the league. Houston's winning the league, by the way.
Who?
Mike Dunleavy, Tulane Green Wave,
Hey, you know,
former NBA Finals coach.
that is so stupid for him to be on the hot seat.
Well, they stink.
Objection, extremely.
I understand that they stink, but the point is that how good do they expect to be?
Well, they probably expected to beat South Alabama, Southeastern Louisiana, Towson, or Alabama A&M.
Never mind. You're right. He needs to go.
That guy stinks.
Who else is on the national hot seat?
Former Kent coach
Jim Christian.
Jim Christian on the hot seat.
Didn't they just have a big win though?
Maybe.
Boston College.
Yeah. Pat Chambers, Penn State on the hot seat.
I love all those. I love all the former Kent State coaches.
There's several of them.
Gary Waters.
Running Waters.
Let me tell you something. When Gary Waters, I was first brought to Gary Waters, of his abilities when Kent had that big run was the very early 2000s, and that was also in the early years of
The big run was,
like 03, 04.
yeah, but it was Stan Heath.
You're right, because Waters had the initial run where then he left,
I think that's
and
right.
Stan Heath took over. Where's Stan Heath now?
Why are we talking about this? I don't know.
I don't know.
Stan Heath.
No, because they had like a run of they had like a Tulsa-esque run, almost.
They went to the Sweet 16 or Elite 8.
Yeah, they went at least once to the Elite Eight, and they had a couple of nice runs. Waters came on the Ion Sports, the original Ion Sports show.
Stan Heath, Stanley Heath III,
Nice. Where's he now?
is the head coach of the Lakeland Magic in the NBA G League.
Really?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good.
Stanley Heath III.
I mean, look.
I wonder what Stanley Heath II is doing.
That's his father.
Well, I know who he is.
But what do you call it? Guys,
Presumably.
what do you call it? Was a G League coach. Quinn Buckner.
Oh, was he?
Quinn Snyder.
I was gonna say.
Quinn Snyder was a minor league coach
Yeah,
after he
he's done
got
a good job.
canned for cheating at Missouri or whatever. So that's good.
Viking Jones or Viking Jones, Cal Golden Bears, second season. They're already talking about firing him.
What's his name?
It's spelled Wyking.
King Jones.
I guess.
What and then what do you call it? Left there to go to
Quanzo left there to go to Missouri. Yeah.
Missouri, right.
Ernie Kent at Washington State.
Ernie-
Dave Lato,
For-
his second stint at DePaul.
Projection: Ernie King gets fired and then rehired by another Pac-12.
Nah, he's done. How about this one? Danny and the Miracles, Danny Manning.
Yeah, he has not really set the world on fire at Wake Forest.
Who has other than Skip Crosser?
Dave, what's his name?
Dino got Dave Odom didn't set the world on fire.
He did well.
He had Tim Duncan.
Hey, he got him.
He did. He got him.
Chris Paul.
Hey, Marvin Menzies. I thought that guy was killing it in Vegas, but he's on the hot seat.
Marvin Menzies.
Yeah.
Wasn't he at East Carolina?
No. He was at New Mexico State.
Oh,
There was a big college
right.
wrestling game yesterday.
There was a big game yesterday.
Virginia, North Carolina. Break it down, Guru.
Virginia won 69-61 over North Carolina. The big question is, what can we expect Virginia to do in the tournament? Considering they lost to a 16 seed last
Wait a
year.
minute. They didn't just lose to a 16 seed. They got their brains stomped
They got Blitzkrieg bopped.
by a 16 seed.
Mark, UMBC. Nickname.
The Jackrabbits.
No,
No.
it's South Dakota State.
What were they?
The Terriers.
The Terriers.
But, I mean, going to the tournaments, UVA is the #1 seed. How far can you really expect them to go?
They're not going to lose again as a #1 seed.
Yeah, they'll probably be ready for that game this time.
You think?
But I feel like they've been ranked pretty high the last couple of tournaments and haven't really done much.
It doesn't translate.
That's right.
That's my hope for Tennessee, by the way.
Right.
That it doesn't translate.
Except the problem is that the Tennessee style usually does translate. A compacted number of guys playing. You know, they're playing whatever 8 guys. They don't play like 12 guys. And then the way they play hard. I mean, that's all. You can say whatever you want. They hustle their aces off, and that usually translates. Now, talent will win out, but they play hard.
Yeah.
So here's the question, and I know between the three of us, we don't follow college basketball anywhere close to probably what we used to, but with the tournament, coming up, in a month, is there a team that do you think there will even be a team like Loyola of last year? No, I'm not talking about necessarily Final Four, but a Sweet 16 team coming from, with the 12, 13, 14. I mean,
of course.
There usually is.
Yeah, there almost always is.
But sometimes there's not.
I think there will be. I mean, you've seen more of that lately. That hasn't diminished in time. You've seen more of it. And you see more of, like, truly deep runs. Loyola went to the Final Four, right?
They did. Sister Jean.
I got my non-secret, but here's Virginia. Last 4 tournaments, 2014, 15. First, looks like they're the first seed and lost in the second round. Second seed lost in Elite 8. Last 2016, 2017 lost in the second round. And then, of course, last year lost in the first. So they haven't done well.
They were in the Elite 8 a few years ago?
Yeah.
Who did they play? Did say?
No, did not. So other than that, they haven't made out of the second round last 3 out of 4 years.
Hey, they're not a tourney team. They're not built for March. What do you want? What do you want from me?
I don't think Duke's going to be that great either in the tournament.
No, I always go with the NBA players. I like Buffalo, the Bison.
Hey, so the preseason, this is interesting. SB Nation, that's the network we're on, by the way.
Straight butt on network.
That's right. They are out with their 2019 projected college football rankings.
103 AAC teams in the top 25.
Well, let's start more relevantly, shall we? Where do you think Memphis is ranked?
23rd.
You think Memphis is a preseason top 25 team for next year?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 31.
Split the difference! 26th! That shocked me. I mean, what did we lose? 7 games last year?
No.
5? 6?
5. 6.
Yeah, so Memphis.
I don't count the bowl game.
Hey-yo! That's what?
We're actually getting some credit.
Yeah, how about it?
Actually, I mean, that's why I said, the reason why I said 23 so emphatically was I saw another early preseason top 25 where we were projected in the top 25 already.
I didn't realize that.
And then
I mean, we
Houston,
lost some pieces.
No, I know, and they had Houston and UCF, the 2 of them both within the 16 to 19 range.
Well, UCF is 27th.
You just said Memphis was 27th.
No, Memphis was 26th.
26, I'm sorry.
As I said.
UCF 27?
Yeah. Rankings, I don't think they should come out with rankings until 4 weeks into the season. I think it's all BS.
No, it's not BS.
It is. They
It's
have
not.
this is the 5 and 6 team, and they lose 2 out of the first 4 games, and obviously they weren't that good. But the only reason why they're ranked 5 and 6 because they play week 1, and ESPN wants to hype up the 5-6 rankings.
I mean, there's some truth to that, Mark, but you also have to consider, if you take a team.
He's right.
He's right. No, he's right to some extent. But I'm saying you also have to consider if they're going to put a team like Central Florida in the top 25 before the season starts. They're looking at who they have. Like, first of all, they know they don't bring Milton back, but they know they have a pretty good backup quarterback. They know they don't have the strongest schedule, so they know they should win 8, 9 games again this year. Why not have them be ranked in the top 25? And there's other, you look at recruiting, you look at who they had last year, even these big teams. There's not like some hype machine like Alabama. is one of the best teams in the country, Alabama, Clemson, whatever, and they keep getting better with recruiting. Why shouldn't they be in the top 2 or 3? You don't have to. You don't have to wait for them to play 3 games to rank them number 1 and number 2.
Yeah, but like, wasn't Washington this year on a top 5 pre-ranked team, and then they didn't even finish ranked? Like that happens every year. There's teams that went from the top 10 that are really bad. So either the people doing the rankings are really bad, or they're just ranking that high just so they can have a good TV match.
So you'd have to go back over the last several years and look at the preseason ranking and what the end of the season ranking was, and see how many, did they get 20 out of 25 by the end of the season? Was it, only 17 out of 25? It's an interesting question. You're the stats guy.
You're the guru.
It's a project. It's a project for you.
Yeah, but I don't like researching college.
Well, find someone who does. Get yourself an unpaid intern.
I'll get an intern in this.
Hey, we need to get Dom Amore on here to talk about the fact that Connecticut is the second to worst team on this entire ranking, like below Rice, below UMass, below
football?
Akron. Yeah,
Who's the worst?
UTEP.
Good old Conference USA Miners.
That's right.
Did they ever have a good team when we were in Conference USA with them?
In football,
I mean, I'm sure they beat us at one point because we have terrible teams.
yeah,
But
I think they had bowl teams. I don't know if they were any good, but maybe a 6-5 here and there.
Mark, what bowl was played in UTEP?
The
Wrong.
Big Tire Auto.
It's
The Sun Bowl.
it's like the only bowl that CBS still has.
Yeah, the Sun Bowl. Hey, speaking of CBS,
Yeah.
CBS, Ira, did they have 2 AAF games on network television on Saturday?
I do not know.
I believe so.
I think they did.
Okay.
AAF! It's fantastic.
They outdrew the NBA.
Yeah, we know.
And speaking of CBS,
Great for you,
So did Little House on the Prairie.
oh, my Little House. Speaking of CBS and one of their writers for one of their websites, or for their website, CBS Sports, and also has a presence in Memphis. So he was on a plane yesterday.
Oh, the little guy?
I'm not saying what the guy's name is.
No.
And he was on a plane
I mean, I'm little.
sitting behind a buddy of mine. And my buddy he sends out to our text chain, he says, "Hey guys, so-and-so sitting behind me on the plane. Any questions for him?" I kid you not, 3 people in our chain, not me, 3 people in the chain all said, "Ask him why he's such a D-bag." And I was like, I said, just ask him if he's ever heard of the Ion Sports with B-Ball Jones.
They didn't ask him, did they?
I don't think he asked him anything.
You think he'd even admit it if he had?
Hell no.
I mean, he talked about a blog that would rip him apart on the internet, so he's heard of the blog, which is, by the way, you can't find it anymore because we're transitioning. The Ion Sports,
I
folks.
thought you meant you were transitioning.
Yeah, I know. That's a sore topic around here.
Yeah, it is. Trannies?
Just take it easy. Take it
I'm
easy.
sorry. Transgender.
That's the appropriate term. But I was talking about transitioning the
I know,
website
transitioning the website.
from bballjones.com to the ionsports.com. It's a rebrand. And we're on, what, 1600?
And YouTube.
And YouTube. It's all happening.
Top of the morning to you.
We'll be right back, folks.
Hey everybody, the Ion Sports here to tell you about Adventech. Adventech is a local
Like a medical curtain. We could pull the curtain.
Yeah, but it's fine.
I'm really more concerned. I'm gonna ask Shane if there's a way to mute it.
I think there is. There's mute buttons over here. I just don't know what goes to what.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Also, if I'm trying to play something, I think it's also coming out on the stream, not on air. If I'm trying to figure out a clip to play, or I want to hear it before I put it on air, I think it's coming out.
Oh, really?
Oh, you better talk to Shane about that. Talk to Shane about that. Mark. Try to mute it.
You're unmuted.
Yeah, and you can tell them the Eye on Sports said so. And let me tell you another thing. If any of those salmon and batches come over here, it's over.
1868 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now.
Is this us? Can we get some more cowbell?
Best Saturday Night Live skit ever.
Do you include the commercials in that?
Yeah, sure. Anything you want.
Then definitely not the best one ever. The best there's two great commercials that trump to me any SNL skit ever.
Dude's like cocking my pants.
No, Schmidt's gay.
Mm.
You know what I'm talking about? Schmidt's
Yeah,
gay?
I didn't think it was that funny even at the time, but yeah, go ahead.
I mean, he's like, this place is a dump. Wait till you see the pool.
Right.
They turn on little crappy water, and all those dudes are walking around in Speedos. That's hilarious. And then what about Big Red? You know Big Red?
No.
It's like Big Red, and there's a toy, and it's got a big Viking helmet, and you pour the goop into his head, and he starts spraying goop all over the house. And it's like Kevin Nealon and I think Jan Hooks are like the parents of the kids, and they're getting sprayed with the goop. And if you want to get the goop out, it's like very toxic. You know, they got the guy underneath, and he's like, "This material is very toxic, so you have to, don't get it in your eyes or whatever." And it says from the makers of Termite Town, and it's like instead of an ant farm, it's a bunch of termites eating the decrepit buildings. It's genius.
So, I didn't watch a ton of Saturday Night Live growing up.
Me neither.
But recently, you know how YouTube recommends things they think you'd like. Well, they really hit it off for me when they recommended Adam Sandler is out with a new comedy special on Netflix or whatever, but it's almost, I haven't seen it, but he does a song, a tribute, one of his songs to Chris Farley. And it's really good. It's like somewhat touching, somewhat funny, Sandler-esque. I mean, the music isn't great, but it's like, it's a period piece, Ira. It evokes the 90s. It evokes Chris Farley. It evokes college for me. So I really liked it. I watched it a bunch. And it turned me on to some skits that I hadn't seen that Chris Farley was in. I always thought he was funny, but he had some scenes. So there was a scene, it was sort of like a Japanese version of Jeopardy, where Mike Myers was the game show host, and Chris Farley was this like random American idiot that got selected, and he didn't even speak Japanese.
Yeah.
And on the show, like when they miss a question, they have to like cut a finger off or something.
I love those Japanese shows like that.
So I've never seen it, but go watch that skit if you can find
So
it.
you're saying it's SNL,
Yeah,
Chris Farley,
Japanese game
Jeopardy?
show.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to. It's one of those things. SNL protects. You can't find those things on YouTube like easily.
There's a lot of SNL on YouTube now.
And you can find it, but it takes a little bit of hunting. It's usually pirated. They pull it down and get it back up. But it is freaking hilarious. And the other one that I got turned on to that I'd never seen before, it was, I think, a little more. That's it. And it's a 15-minute build, but that's it. Watch it later. You'll laugh your tuchus off. Also a funny one was when Chris Farley was in one of those, hey, they switched your coffee with decaf, right? And he's sitting at the restaurant, they got him on hidden camera, and he goes freaking bonkers when they tell him, and he throws the table over, and he starts just going nuts. He was not just a fat guy that like got some chuckles. He was a funny, funny dude. That's my piece. That's my take.
There is a Mark. I don't know if you can find it on the. It's not going to be on the flash drive. It'll be on the other stuff. There's a part that it's Chris Farley. I don't know what it's listed under. Maybe Street Fighting Man. But he's in the movie Dirty Work with Norm Macdonald, and he's got some really.
Remember they prank each other?
They prank other people, but they're at the bar, and Chris Farley's going to play something on the jukebox, and just the way he talks is one of the funniest things I've ever heard. Yeah, he was a legend. There's no doubt. I just, it's sad when some of these guys,
Check out that game show and check out the Farley song or the Sandler song and tell
And
me.
it's on Netflix, the Sandler song? Or can I
The
find it on
Sandler song
YouTube?
is definitely on YouTube because that's where I saw it. The
Okay.
special itself is on Netflix. Ira, circling back before we move on to something
Yeah.
on these college football rankings, you know who was amazingly 118th, the second to worst AAC team in the entire rankings and the 12th worst team in the country, or 13th, going into next year, according to this? You'll never guess it because they had been a sort of a perennial contender in the league.
USF.
No.
Tulane.
You said Tulane, no. What'd you say?
Smooth. SMU.
Not Smooth. They've been terrible. They wouldn't surprise me being down here. This team surprises me.
Houston.
Nope.
No.
Navy.
Really?
Yeah. East Carolina also really bad. Projected.
Portland Army got the Navy.
Again, projected. Projected. These are just projections, folks. Everybody calm down.
That's 6 months before the season starts.
Everybody just calm.
No, I want to know what jerkwad ranks Navy that low.
When do my Grizzlies play again? Let's move on to the
Grizzlies
Grizzlies.
play tonight against the Sacramento Spurs.
Yeah,
San Antonio Spurs.
We got a point spread on that game. I'm thinking about.
Dropping a deuce or two on the.
Speaking of dropping a deuce, I
wasn't
drove
trying to speak about dropping deuces.
over the weekend. As you know, I went down to Tunica
Yeah, I heard about that.
for the youth volleyball,
Indeed.
and I drove past. I couldn't believe it. Do you remember when they built the Grand?
Spurs 4-point favorites in
Okay.
Memphis. Yeah, I remember when they built the Grand.
So they built the Grand. It was big.
Yeah, big.
So appropriately named the Grand. I think it turned into a Harrah's at one point. Is that right?
True.
Somebody get me on that.
True that. Yeah, it's true.
Can you fully confirm
I
that?
didn't know.
Okay.
No, there's a,
Yeah, he doesn't know which casino was which or what font is a font.
I only know Gold Strike Horseshoe.
It was a Harris.
Okay, so it was a Harris. Is it just empty now?
Oh yeah.
Like you drove past it, the sign is like taken down.
Empty.
That is unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
How does a casino go broke? Anyway, I was thinking about, I was
Well, they
driving
didn't
past the
go
casino.
broke. They just it wasn't.
Man.
Anyway.
I was driving past the casino. The Tigers were about to play, and I thought to myself, well, these volleyball games have breaks in them. I could just dart over to one of these places. Sports betting. I had not seen a sports book yet, so I thought, why don't I just dart over and I'll put some money on the Tigers? They're 7.5-point favorites.
Yeah.
UConn 7.5, 8.5, something like that.
I want to get to that in a second, but go ahead.
So I thought about it,
Mhm.
but I didn't do it. And they won by what?
So here's the interesting part. Tigers are 7.5-point favorite on Sunday against UConn. Whereas about 25 seconds left in the game, UConn scores or whatever to cut it to 7. Tigers inbound start to bring it into the front court. 3 times UConn players grabbed Memphis players as to commit a foul and put them on the free throw line. Not called on any of the occurrences by the referee, with a chance for 2 free throws to throw the game the entire other way. Now,
You're thinking the same thing. Like, how crazy is that?
but is it? That's the question. Is that just coincidence, or is there more to it?
Look, I have no problem believing that college refs can be compromised. I'm not saying everyone is. Certainly the majority of them likely have high integrity, no gambling problems. But what are the odds? Or it wouldn't have to be a gambling problem. It could be any sort of financial
Sorry, I
problem.
just want to see if that would work on the game.
Yeah, it worked. I got no problem believing that. I've only said in my life one college football game and one college basketball game that I've ever seen that I thought the refs were up to some funny business.
The 5th down, Missouri, Nebraska.
No, these are games that I watch, and I by and large only watch Memphis games. So
Right.
in 41 years, let's say I've been conscious for maybe 35 of them, Ira, of the years.
I don't know if it's conscious, it's cognizant.
Cognizant,
Okay.
conscious. Yeah, I wasn't unconscious, right? What's your son doing there? Passed out. Your 4-year-old son.
He's unconscious.
He's unconscious.
He got into the tussing.
What can I say? two games that I thought were fixed. One was Louisville at Memphis, circa early 2010s, Joe Jackson's era.
Was Frank Garcia on Louisville then?
No. This was years later.
Okay.
This was
Good.
This was later Patino years.
Cheating son of a-
Yeah, just an awful set of calls. And then the other was the Central Florida Memphis game this year in the AC championship. Ira, last night, Mark Gasol, have we already talked about this? Did I miss it?
No.
He made his, I guess this was his debut,
No.
Home debut.
Home debut.
his home debut for the Raptors. Finished with 16 points, 6 rebounds, 22 minutes. Did not apparently start the game. Serge Ibaka is their starting center.
Succumsism.
Is that Serge?
Yeah, that's a good old Surge. Best soda drink that ever was.
Surge? Are you kidding?
They beat the Brooklyn Nets. 127-125.
Better soda, Surge or Jolt Cola?
Never drank either one of them.
What about Mellow Yellow?
They call me Mellow Yellow. I would go
Oh my
Surge.
God, that was atrocious.
I would say Surge, but I never had enough Jolt Cola to know the caffeine addiction that led with Jolt Cola.
Your cousin Jay, the brother on sports, not this Jay, but my brother, that kid will get a Mellow Yellow. If he sees it, he'll get it. Kids cannot refuse the draw of the Mellow Yellow for some reason.
Ira, this Browns guy, the Kareem Hunt, the guy that got cut from the Chiefs for
Cream?
Yeah, for what did he get cut for, Mark?
Pushing and kicking a woman.
He has been signed by the Browns.
Well,
Your
thank
thoughts? Your take? The Eye on Sports.
Was she pregnant?
You know, she's
Thank God for that.
I thought you were going to say, then I'm fine with it.
Absolutely not. That's disgusting. Any violent act committed against a woman, unless she's legitimately kicking your ass first, is unwarranted. You can't do it, okay? Especially if you're an NFL player. Now, part of me is of the opinion that NFL player, he got suspended, yes, already for the crime.
The Chiefs cut him immediately.
The Chiefs cut him, but was he suspended?
They caught him, but he's still going to be suspended 6 games.
Okay, so if he serves a suspension, then I say you can give him another chance. Now, I think when it comes to domestic violence, something like that, you get one chance extra, and that's it. I mean, if something happens again, you don't get a second chance. You're gone. Banned for life, league.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression.
That's true.
It's
You know, it's strong enough for a man, but it's pH balanced for a woman.
It's amazing how they treat smoking marijuana worse than domestic violence.
It's not. They don't treat it worse, I don't think, but and that's changing as well. It's on its way towards changing. So I don't think that's. I don't know how accurate that is right now in this day and age.
You want a fantasy spin on the
Fantasy spit? Sure, spit it.
So Nick Chubb was a really good fantasy pick.
Who?
Nick Chubb.
Oh, Nick Chubb, okay.
Should still be a really good pick this year, but Kareem Hunt coming back. I mean, he's still a solid running back, so take a little bit of that volume away from him that everyone thought Chubb was going to have, because he was getting 20, 25 carries a game. Once they traded the guy from Alabama. No, they traded the Jaguars, Carlos Hyde. So now that Kareem Hunt's there, it's going to get away on
Kareem Hunt.
Okay, are either of you going to go to the Express game this weekend?
I'm going to be at Cafe Du Monde.
Yeah, Marky's going to.
What are you going to New
Nolans.
Orleans for? Bachelor party? Man, I've been to some bachelor parties in New Orleans.
Yeah, who hadn't?
My younger days.
Nothing really happens sitting in the house all day.
That's not true. The ones I went to, you would have thought Scarface was there. There was so much.
Blow.
I've never.
Powdered sugar?
That's not me.
No, not me either. Believe me.
Adderall?
I've
No, that's the president. Speaking of the president, apparently there's an immigration deal.
Yeah, apparently our border security deal.
Yeah.
Hey, quickly, I want to get a couple of birthday shout outs from the Retro News Department. Michael McDonald. Love Michael McDonald. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's a singer.
From the Doobie Brothers. Great voice. 67 today. Joanna Kearns, you know who that is?
No.
The mom from Growing Pains.
Yeah.
66. Still looks good. One of my all-time favorites. Yo MTV Raps Ed Lover.
That's my guy.
Remember Ed Lover and Dr. Dre? But not Dr. Dre from like The Chronic, but Dr. Dre was his other, the counterpart. Remember? Do you remember them at all? You can say no. Do you remember them at all?
No.
Okay.
No, sorry.
They had a movie. They were popular, man. They were MTV popular. They had a movie called Who's the Man? And it was all the MTV, like VJs and people who worked on MTV were all in the movie. And a bunch of rappers. And Dennis, not Dennis.
Dennis Farina?
No, Quinn. What's his name?
Oh, yeah, Quinn. Dennis Quinn.
No.
Colin Quinn.
Colin Quinn. Thank you. I could not think of it.
I missed the MTV basketball game.
Quinn, the medicine woman.
Dr. Quinn, medicine woman, Jane Seymour. Also, the mom gets, motorboat and wedding crashers. Right?
She got motorboated?
She didn't get motorboated, but Vaughn asked her if he motorboated her. He's like, what's her name's mom? Made me feel her.
Oh, God.
Because you motorboating son of a.
I didn't sleep much.
Neither did I.
Good God.
Yeah, we're going to get out of here. We're going to go take a nap.
I'm going to go buy some life insurance.
There you go. That's a great idea.
Literally. Hey, folks, if you need life insurance, Mark, tell them where to find you.
I'm
going to need hearing aids after that.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Hey, do the policies cover that?
Huh? All right, we'll talk about that off the air. Adios, muchachos. No, I fell asleep couching at probably about 11:30. Woke up at like